Good morning, die-harders. Who's ready to live free or die hard? This is the S&W Experience, and I am the Shogun. And here we go.
So you wonder what Ross will do, what he will pull
Yeah.
to become president. It should be interesting to see.
It could also be very easy for him to pull off. Have him just be like, the entire cabinet has been, has been corrupted. Yeah, they've been infiltrated by aliens, and I'm the only guy you can trust. And since people will believe that, because the most powerful man in the world is an alien, they'd believe it. They'd vote for him. Because, he's telling them stuff. He's not telling lies. I mean, he's exaggerating the truth, but he's not lying.
Telling truths.
Yeah. So they could see him like, damn, he's the only candidate who's being straight with us. Let's put him in charge,
Yeah.
But damn.
That's true. But yeah, it should be interesting. It's sad though, because I really would have wanted to see Dermot Mulroney as president for a long time. I would have wanted to see him interact with the Avengers. That guy's a pretty good actor. He's a pretty good comedy actor as well. He has those chops. It's sad that he'll only have this one appearance. I mean, he could have two if he doesn't directly die in Secret Invasion. Maybe he dies in New World Order, which is the premise of the movie, that there's a New World Order with Ross being president. So it could be that as well. Could be that. We don't know.
But if he doesn't die...
New World Order could be any new presidency, new this, new that.
If Mulroney doesn't die, if his president doesn't die in Secret Invasion, then that he would either wind up in jail or on the run somewhere.
Yeah. See, the thing is, because we're not sure why he's in danger, because someone is chasing him. And it's probably a Skrull. Because if it's a random human person, there's no way the Secret Service wouldn't be able to fight them back. The Secret Service is not, they're not the Avengers, but they are quite formidable in terms of, taking down a threat. So I think, since he's in so much danger when you look at him in the trailer with this car, being flipped and whatnot, it seems like he's being chased after by Skrulls. And I wonder what exactly they want from him. He could be like a rogue Skrull that went his own path 25 years ago. We don't know. They could be trying to take revenge because he fucked them somehow.
Yeah. Or it just could be like in... This is going to be a weird pull, but it could be like in the G.I. Joe movie where they're replacing the president. Like, he's not a Skrull in this scene, but they're swapping him out for a Skrull. Yeah. That could be it,
Yeah, that could be it, because if he is... So, we don't know his status. We don't know if he's actually dead. But if he's replaced, and then it comes out in Secret Wars...
Yeah.
Then that's how Ross can claim power. But if the president's still alive, then what that means is, while he's being hidden away and Ross is president, Ross will eventually lose his presidency, because I don't think that they plan to make him the president forever, because he's the Red Hulk. Why would he be the president? For his short period, I feel like he'll be the president and whatnot, and then they'll remove him, and then the real president might come back. That's also a possibility, if he's merely replaced and not killed. Because Dermot seems like a very big talent to waste like that.
Yeah, but they've done that before. They've cast big-name actors in wasteful roles. I mean, for fuck's sakes, man, they had Mads Mikkelsen in Doctor Strange as a henchman. Jesus, dude.
I mean, no, see, Mads as Kaecilius, at least he's like a direct antagonist. I mean, he's a secondary antagonist. At least he had front billing, and he's on the poster and shit like that. At least.
So was Bane in Dark Knight Rises, bro.
Dormammu. Wait, can we say that Kaecilius, after he reads the book, can we say that he became an avatar of Dormammu, in theory.
No, because he
Kinda.
still had his own like thoughts and speeches and stuff and whatnot. Like his interactions
But
with
so does Moon Knight.
Strange. His
So does Moon
interactions
Knight.
with Strange weren't really like someone who was being controlled. You know, like when they meet for the first time and he like makes this
'Cause
comment of like Mr. Doctor. Why would an interdimensional demon make small talk? Like, dude.
But what it seems to me is like Dormammu granted them power beyond anything they could ever achieve. Because obviously Kaecilius was a disgraced student of the arts, right? He left and whatnot, chose his own path of evil. But I don't think regular Kaecilius could have slugged it in a battle with Doctor Strange at all. The amp that he got in his movie, and again, it was only an amp that was negated. Like, the ex machina there was the fact that he used the time stone. But magic to magic, Strange was losing hard. And that power level that he had, I mean, obviously it was granted by Dormammu. But Kaecilius as an avatar, that's an interesting notion, especially since being an avatar just means that you get power.
I think
because they've even retconned now that the Black Panther is the avatar of Bastard. You know, they've even retconned that, which is weird. But yeah, you know, I'm not complaining. You know, because like the other, like, I think you can be an avatar without being activated constantly, because you look at Moon Knight, the avatars of the other Egyptian gods, they had their own thoughts and minds, and you know, they were able to conversate with Mark. But when needed be, the gods took over their bodies, and that was only when needed be. But they themselves, they knew who they were. They knew that there were these people from all over the world. They have lives, but they're also functioning avatars. I think that's what an avatar is. You're just a functioning vessel filled with the power of this particular god. And while Dormammu isn't exactly a god, he has godlike power, considering he rules an entire dimension, which is pretty fucking OP. You know, obviously in the comics he's stronger, because he was never tricked this easily by Doctor Strange. But yeah.
That's not how I view it, though. Personally, I think it's more like how Galactus and the Silver Surfer do that thing, because Galactus gave Silver Surfer cosmic power, but he wasn't controlling him. He still had his own thoughts and movements, and he could willingly go against Galactus when he wanted to. You know, it's very much
but he's not an avatar, he's a herald. He's a henchman.
So are they! So are fucking Kaecilius and his people. They've been bestowed power by Kaecilius, but he's not controlling them. They live to serve him, yes, but he is not controlling them in any way. They're doing this of their own accord.
But then neither does Khonshu control Mark.
Exactly.
Neither does the other gods. Yeah, what I'm saying is those guys also aren't controlled, but they're avatars.
No, those... yeah, shit. Dude. Damn.
The only time where they're controlled is if God, because again, they're lazy. They don't want to come to Earth. It's only when they speak through the vessels, but they can do whatever they want as well.
Dormammu can't, though, because think about it, bro.
Avatar literally
think about it.
Mark
Think about
to
it.
find
In Doctor Strange,
he helped him.
If Dormammu wanted to take over one of these dudes' bodies and do shit, he would have. Really think about it. He would have. If he had the power to do so, he would have. But it wouldn't really make him
as powerful, because most of these people, all of these avatars, are not as strong as their actual gods. That's the problem. The exchange of power slightly negates once you touch a human vessel. Because Bastard is clearly stronger than Captain America. Clearly. Even without being a mutant like Namor. She's clearly stronger. But the main premise is that if you are an avatar, you are bestowed a small portion of this power to enact the will of a god, but not zombified will.
That's
like
a
you have no
herald,
autonomy.
man. That's some
Because
Silver
everyone
Surfer
else
shit.
in Moon Knight
Dude,
has autonomy.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, you're saying those people under those circumstances are avatars, but that's essentially a herald like the Silver Surfer, man. He's not being
But the
controlled by
thing is,
Galactus, but he's
Silver Surfer
doing what
doesn't get all of his power from Galactus. These people get all their power from these people.
Except it does. It literally says in the comic he was bestowed the power of Cosmic. Before this, knowing Rad was just a dude.
But the thing is, nowadays with Silver Surfer, he's a person who can act in his own volition to a point where he can even beat Galactus.
That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah, but these people can't beat their gods. That's the problem.
No one's saying they could, man. He'd fucking eat them. He would eat Kaecilius and his people without even blinking.
Yeah. But then you're saying that if you're an avatar, you have no autonomy. But everyone in Moon Knight had autonomy.
But in Moon Knight, yes, they were in fact avatars of their people. Those are avatars. I will grant you that. They are avatars and they can 100% be puppeted by their gods if their gods choose to do so. My point is, Kaecilius and his people weren't of that variety. They were merely granted a sample of Dormammu's power. But in being granted that power, he could not puppet them. Everything they did was their choice to do so.
Now, okay, you forget as well, when they read the spell of enchantment, the spell of Verton, that incarnation in their head, like a Martian, that put them in a different state of being. You can't dispute that.
It didn't. It did. Yeah, it did. Same thing like a Martian when Vegeta got the tattoo on his forehead.
Yeah. And that's, Vegeta became like an avatar of the true Majin Buu, not the fat one, the evil one. Because the fat one isn't really an asshole, but Vegeta was an asshole much more. Even going as far as killing random civilians in the stands. But those clearly showed elements of an altered state of mind post receiving power.
But
It's not a lot by being an avatar.
But if we're being honest, that didn't really change Vegeta. That just unleashed what was already there.
Nah, the thing is, Akira has retcon, because back in the 90s, that was the whole case of it was a Vegeta trying to seize power in the only way that is left now, because clearly 7 years of training cannot get you to Goku's level. You know, you can clearly see that. But nowadays, in modern interviews, he's reiterated that a lot of the margin control was negated by Vegeta's pride. But in the initial stages, he was listening to Babidi, and it was a magical incantation that he couldn't break. I mean, if anything, Vegeta has like the greatest willpower in fiction, because he, without anyone's help, fought mind control and won. Without anyone's help. Not that, oh, look into your heart, all that movie trope bullshit.
To be fair, it took a while. It did take a while. He did kill some people.
A while being hours isn't a while to me. That's kind of quick. Because imagine you become Manjin Gotenik save me. By 4 Ndambama, you're back to you. That's not really a while to me. Because that whole fight, that was like the same afternoon. Right up until he knocks out Goku before he tries to go fight Majin Buu himself. That's a few hours. It's very strong.
Yeah.
And as well, he achieved all of the God transformations himself.
Without help, mind you. Goku had to combine the powers of like 4 Saiyans, but Vegeta just got there.
He got it, and he also mastered Ultra Ego on his own. You know, so he's one guy, I would say. He has like the mental fortitude that could possibly be greater than Green Lanterns.
Possibly, yeah.
I've never seen determination like Vegeta.
Yeah.
He is determined. Goku, you see with Goku, a lot of it's just like he is mentally stimulated.
He just lives for the fight, really. You know?
Like, the only reason why he began absolutely dominating Jiren in the battle, in the Tournament of Power, is because at the later stage in the fight, when it's like 5 minutes left, he tried to take out, Goku's friends in the stands, You think friendship makes you strong? Let's see how you are without it. And then he was like, and then he became like the angry Goku from Z. Like that Goku that you remember. So with Goku, it's always emotional, Krillin dying, threatening the lives of his friends, But with Vegeta, he always gets shit done on his own.
Yeah.
And I respect that. I respect that in him.
It's like, I don't know. If I could like compare it to anything, it's like the two different versions of the Hulk, like Eric Bana's Hulk versus Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Because with Eric Bana, his transformation is triggered by emotional distress. Because look at that movie. Every moment he's transformed, he's been emotionally distressed somehow, and it triggers that rage in him. He's never actually been angry, He never actually got physically, yeah. But
he feels overwhelmed. He feels this and that.
Yeah, but with MCU Hulk, it's different. It's not so much emotional strength as it is like the moment calls for it. He only really loses it in the first Avengers movie when like he gets trapped under all that weight and he like can't get out. Yeah.
And also, and I think this comes in conjunction with anger. I don't think it's very much anger as it is, because when you look at the biology of it, and they explain this in the first MCU Hulk movie, Incredible Hulk, they explain it much better. Bruce can't fuck because if his heart rate elevates, and that would trigger the transformation. I think anger is a good way to blanket it.
Yeah.
But Bruce's heart rate increasing is like the actual thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, compared to Banner, it's like slightly different. And I guess part of that is like down to Ang Lee trying to do something more creative, something different, comic panels and the editing and all these interesting things, Like, Hulk growing is a trope in the comics, but it's not like an astronomical rate of growth. It's like pretty much akin to a person growing from 6 foot to 6'4", 6'5". But in the Banner movie, he becomes like 2 stories. Like he is way big, like way big. No pun intended. But like he's just too big, and it's impractical, especially in battle. It's just very impractical.
You're talking
because the
about
bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Yeah. Thing is with
Wait.
Which fight? If you had to list a fight from the Ang Lee Hulk movie, are we talking Hulk versus the Army or Hulk versus the Hulk Dogs?
Hulk Dog is better because at least he's doing some physical things. With the Army, he's just throwing shit. He's throwing shit, he's swinging shit. And with his dad, he's just punching water and air, So in that fight, ironically enough, his best fight was with non-humans.
Yeah.
Or a non-human strike force.
Yeah. Well, that fight with the Hulk Dogs, it was, when you could see it, because fuck, dude, that movie was dark. Jesus, man.
I will say one thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, taking a dog because of the bad CGI. It's a smart move because that scene isn't as egregious if you watch it back. It's at most like She-Hulk level. Like,
yeah.
the bad scenes in CGI in She-Hulk, which again, what I mean, is pretty much akin to Eric Banner's with slight, slight variation.
Yeah. There were definitely a few scenes, but if there was this one moment that got a chuckle out of me, it was like when he was pinned down, like the one dog had one arm and the other dog had another arm, and then the third dog comes in from the middle and bites him right in the groin. I was like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
Did he just get bit right on his dick? Like, what the?
My question is, since these are gamma dogs, and their bites clearly, they clearly enter his skin. Clearly. Did those bites enter his balls? Because that would have been so painful. Because the Hulk, ordinarily, he's indestructible. There's no blade that can cut him, no knife that can pierce him. There's nothing. But a gamma dog, obviously, being the same or similar strength, obviously can. It's kind of like how Crypto, the super dog, can punch Superman and make him bleed. He's not as strong as Superman, but he can deal some damage. So those bites had to have sunk into his nuts. They had to.
Yep. Dude, the shit we talk about.
Oh my god. The pain.
My
A
god.
kick alone
Dude.
will immobilize you for like 20 minutes.
This is a bite. Like, dude.
Oh, but you know what? Hulk has healing. So they might have healed I mean, I'm sure it would have been fucking painful. But at least they would have healed.
Even for a dude with
Especially
indestructible skin, man, that shit still had to hurt. Like,
it had to.
cause if okay, let's say fucking Luke Cage punched the Hulk right in the groin, he would register the punch, but it wouldn't immobilize him,
Exactly. He'd feel it, he'd get pissed off, he might swat him away in annoyance.
Yeah.
Maybe go back to touch his groin and be like, ooh, I felt that. It's not going to pin me down. I won't go on my knees, but ooh, I felt that.
Dude.
Kind of like that.
The closest thing we can compare it to is in Deadpool when that chick punched Colossus and he went down. And there was that echo that gong. Dude.
Yeah, it's okay, that's sore. I'm not going to die. But fuck, that was sore.
Yeah. And it shows that, yes, every part of his body is metal, man.
Exactly. I think there was even a crotch shot in Deadpool 2 with thingy. Was it Negasonic? Because, it was Juggernaut and Colossus.
Oh, yeah.
There was one.
Remember that? Yeah.
They like nut shots.
Thing is,
I think because it's crude humor, so it's funny.
Not only that, but realistically, it's the only way to go, man. You're dealing with nigh indestructible people. Way. Yeah. The
it
best
reminds
way.
Me of what's this, Bucky?
What?
Bucky 2018. The 2018 anime. There's a lot of nut shots in fights, and more often than not, these fights end with said, nut shot. It's a martial arts anime through and through. But it's kind of like what Doofenshmirtz said. If I had a nickel for every nut shot I saw in a Bucky cartoon, I'd have 6 nickels, which isn't a lot. But it's strange that it happened more than once.
Nah.
So it's kind of like that.
Dude, it's... oh, shit, dude. It's still funny to think about, though, man. Just...
Yeah, it's funny.
Damn.
It's very it's a subversion of high octane action that we're so used to. It's about to be a brawl of ages, and then bing, nut shot, easy, funny, audience laughs.
Yeah,
it's good. It's clean. It's safe.
Yeah. Plus, it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker, but it's not permanent damage. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the safest form of crude humor.
Yeah.
But I wonder if the MCU would do that. Because they're so
family friendly.
they're so
Yeah.
heavy on censorship. Like it took us 12 years to get blood, like proper blood, not like purple and brown. It took us 12 years to get blood, and that was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, obviously, you had like a bloodied cap in Winter Soldier, but it wasn't like dripping blood.
Yeah.
But this is the first time you've seen blood. So they might be embracing that.
I think
eventually.
it's mainly down to like age restrictions and like, age ratings or whatever. If you see a character whose face is all bloody, it affects the rating, And they want to maintain that PG, so like they tone it down as much as they can.
Yeah. But I love that Feige promised Deadpool would still be rated R. So we're seeing as much blood, as much nut shots. Mobius might get a nut shot. I feel like he might.
What? Why?
Because he is in the movie. Apparently he's playing a central role. And I guess it makes sense. TVA, multiverse, all of that stuff.
I mean, Deadpool does have a time machine, so makes sense they'd be there.
Like, I don't know. It's very hard to explain more. Because, look, I get it. The multiverse, like, it always existed, but it was, like, kind of tied into a neat bow. But now that it's unraveled, these universes are popping up with their own independent history. And again, we have seen this history because we've seen these movies. So I feel like with Deadpool 3, the Deadpool Fox universe will be like a branch reality that I assume Mobius enters. And then, of course, Wade Wilson. But then the thing is, Mobius isn't a part of 616. He exists in a time vacuum. There's no time where they are. The TVA has no time. So why would Mobius take Deadpool to 616? What reason would he have?
I don't know, man. Maybe he was fucking some shit up in the timeline and the TVA came to bust him, like with Loki.
And here's my question. Loki Mobius is gone. We now have end of Loki season Mobius.
Yeah.
So which Mobius are we getting in Deadpool 3? The Mobius who was against the regime, who actually wanted to stop Kang? Or are we getting this indoctrinated bureaucrat who doesn't know better? What are we getting?
Question is, what was Kang actually doing? I know, like, Sylvie wanted to kill him, but, like...
Oh, that's simple. Basically, he was manipulating the multiverse to always have led to his birth. Essentially protecting his birth. He was making sure that he is still born in a very particular way to ensure that he has power. Because the first thing that Kang does as Kang is become Rama-Tut. Like in the comics in the 60s, that's the first time we introduced to Kang. In fact, Kang's first introduction was in, I think, like Fantastic Four number 25 or something, 25.
Yeah.
And then our first look at Kang is as Rama-Tut. So he's known as Rama-Tut before Kang in the comics. He was known as. So I feel like him protecting the way he was born and him becoming Rama-Tut is still part of the plan for Marvel Studios. Because in becoming Rama-Tut, he builds a spaceship that is a Sphinx. And that spaceship is, capable of, like, interdimensional travel. And then the Fantastic Four stop him. And then he flees back into the future where he becomes Kang, after interacting with the High Evolutionary, which we'll see in Guardians 3, played by the guy in Peacemaker. So, what's his name? It's a very ethnic name, though. But yeah, obviously him being Kang was inspired by the High Evolutionary. So I don't know if they're going to tie that in I don't know. I actually don't know. But all this is an elaborate way of making sure that Nathaniel Richards is born in the 31st century.
And not only that, but no other Kangs sprout up that would take him down. Because not only was he ensuring his own, yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh, and then also here's the thing. So I recently found out yesterday that the Kang in Ant-Man 3 is not the Kang in the TVA. So the Kang in Ant-Man 3, he is Kang, he is a Kang. Like in terms of his identity is Kang the Conqueror. But the other one we saw, the other Nathaniel we saw in Loki was He Who Remains. An older version of Nathaniel who takes up this role, But the Kang we see in the Loki statue is not the same Kang in Quantumania, because that Kang apparently, well, not apparently, it's been spoken about. He is stuck in the quantum realm. He can't leave it. Not because he'll die or anything, but he's just stuck. He can't get out. So, then again, it's possible that they might retcon it to be like, well, the TVA exists in the quantum realm, and that's why, Kang's castle, with He Who Remains, that's why that castle looks like the quantum realm, and, that's why it looks like it's in the quantum realm. But then I call bullshit with that, because why would two Kangs be existing in one dimension? Because if the TVA, if the He Who Remains headquarters are actually in the quantum realm, why would there be two Kangs in the same realm? Doesn't make sense. So he's definitely not. I mean, they could make it so, but he's definitely not. But I just want to see, what is the difference between the Kang in Loki season 2, the Kang we'll see then, and the Kang in Ant-Man 3? Because it seems like the Kang in Ant-Man 3 is the one they'll set up for secret, for
Secret
Kang
Wars,
Dynasty.
yeah, and Kang Dynasty.
It might. Or it might be the Loki Kang. We don't know. Because what is Ant-Man Kang's MO? What does he want? We don't know.
I mean, we know ultimately he wants out of the quantum realm. Ultimately, he wants out of there.
He wants out.
But his goal overall, we don't know.
Loki is about.
Yeah.
He's trying to make sure that he's born. And he'll do anything to keep that apparent. And now that he's been born / varianted, he's going to do some very evil shit. So that might be the Kang we see in Kang Dynasty as well. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Might be more than one. Council of Kangs? Crazy.
Yeah. We knew the moment Jonathan Majors played the role and he let it be known that there were multiple Kangs, that we were going to see different versions of this character. We were not going to see one dude over and over, because the He Who Remains was very bubbly and he was very personable person. But in the trailer of Quantumania, and Ant-Man, he's very different. He's actually he's sinister, dude. He's making like a deal with the guy, yeah.
And of course, there is the leaked trailer from Comic-Con, and they removed the line in the trailer.
Yeah, have I killed you before? Yeah.
Like, Ant-Man, I've killed you before. So clearly, he's been around.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder how around he's been. To what extent? Because we just might see them in, future installments. Hell, they might fucking team up in Kang Dynasty. Because if it's a dynasty, I mean, it's possible there's more than one of you if it's a dynasty.
We've been misled by titles before, dude.
Much power so quickly,
We've been misled by those secondary titles before. Remember Age of Ultron?
Whatnot. I mean, I think the problem with Age of is that while it is possible to spread the movie into 2 different films, what would be the point? That's what you gotta ask yourself.
Not just that, dude. Not just that spread the movie, but like, dude, it was more like it was barely the afternoon of Ultron, man. This,
Yeah, I get that. And I think, you see, the thing is, with time skips, people want to see true damage. Like, they want to see, like, you can't have a time skip and things are relatively the same. And I think the issue is they didn't want to fuck up the world so quickly purely because of Ultron. Because if it really was the Age of Ultron, the whole world would be like post-apocalyptic. And I think they had to save that element because you still needed Thanos to make the world apocalyptic. Because if it was truly an age and it was like 2 movies, like Ultron and his vibranium, mind you, Ultron bots, they're like, they could literally take over the world if they had large enough numbers. They could. I mean, yeah, you know, the Avengers, you know, I guess they would kind of help and circumvent and kind of, you know, minimize the damage, but they would still deal a lot of damage onto the world. The world would be on fire if we had to have like 10,000 Ultron bots. We would be on fire. Because you need like a couple hundred of those bots to dismantle a military presence. Imagine 10,000. So I think they had to nix the element of Ultron dealing some true damage and it truly being the Age of Ultron. Because if it's an age, there has to be a time skip. And if there's a time skip, the world should be in shambles. It should be. The world can't look the same. But I feel like they couldn't do that because they were saving, 1, the time skip, 2, apocalyptic disruption for Thanos. I think that's what it was. They were saving it. So they had to nerf the Age of Ultron, and they had to nerf the damage that it would deal. And in doing so, it kind of worked because that nerfing, which only led to the destruction of one country, only one, led to the Sokovia Accords, and that led to Civil War. And then that led to Infinity War.
If it had happened a lot sooner, if like Age of Ultron really was turning Earth into a post-apocalyptic world, them Accords would have come hell of a lot sooner too. A lot of things would have had to kick off sooner.
There wouldn't be any Accords to speak of. There wouldn't be any governments in it. Ultron would deal so much damage if it was truly an age. And I think that's the problem. He would have been too powerful. Too powerful too quickly without a substantial force to stop him. You know? Like, Ultron's biggest, like, adversary is Vision. Yeah. If Vision wasn't built and the age truly had time to be an age, not that many people would be able to do anything. I mean, yeah, okay, you know, you're sorcerers, but then again, the movie hadn't come out yet. So even that is to be seen if it was to be the same, you know? And I think sorcerers would do quite well against robots, to be honest. What about the rest of the world? I mean, I know Wakanda would probably be still stable. So let's count it. Wakanda, Talocan, and a couple of Santorums. Only they would be remaining after the Ultron boss, to be honest. Because we clearly see how the Ancient One wasn't trying to protect Earth in the Battle of New York, but she was protecting the Sanctum. You know, every Chitauri Arida that she exploded was heading to the Sanctum. So I don't think she cares as much for humanity. They care. Obviously, Strange does. Strange definitely is a bigger heart than the Ancient One, you know. But I definitely think that it would be a case of every man for himself. And because of that, the world would be in trouble. In trouble. Like, I don't expect no endgame, you know, Avengers lineup of Avengers assemble, because what Avengers? You know, there's no Guardians, there's no Sorcerers, there's no one yet. The universe is still building. We've barely come out of our first ensemble movie. So I feel like they tried to minimize what Ultron would do to save what he could do for better villains. Because Thanos is a better villain, in theory. In writing, it could be different, but in theory, Thanos is a better villain. And I feel like they prioritized him needing that kind of destruction as opposed to Ultron doing it. Because if Ultron did it and they saved the day, and then Thanos did that as well, it would just feel like a rehash, which is what I feel like they don't want to do.
And I'm seriously getting sick of this shit. Like this Marvel movies on cinema, whatever. Like, fuck's sake, man. Who gives a shit? Just
like even I think Tarantino said, people aren't seeing the new
movie stars, yeah.
I mean,
like
you Chris Evans. And there's some truth in that, but it's not that truth because these people are superstars. Let's not lie.
Yeah, they are.
Let's not lie. Movies have stars. It doesn't matter how big the stars, but they're still superstars. To discredit that is a disservice to the medium.
Mm-hmm. To say like when people go to see a Thor movie, they're not going to see Chris Hemsworth. They're going to see Thor played by Chris Hemsworth. Like, yeah, there's some truth in that, but at the same time, man, when people go to see fucking Django, they're not going to see Jamie Foxx. They go to see Jamie Foxx play Django. Like, dude.
The thing is, there are very few movies where people go to see actors just because there's actors. Because a lot of times people form their opinions off of trailers. And with the trailer, you look at the plot, you look at the story, the CGI, if there is any, and then you look at the actor. The point is, you more often than not, you always the actor lost anyway. No one ever goes, oh wow, new Brad Pitt movie, I gotta see that. No. They say, oh wow, I want to watch Ad Astra. Oh wow, I want to watch Train. It's not ever being an actor in a role. I mean, I guess it used to.
Yeah.
Because most movies back then were original. So people could not latch onto the story and be like, it's a story worth seeing on its own merit. They had to have actors attached to it. So back then, yes, people did go see actors in movies. But now things have changed. Every story now is either a reboot, an adaptation, a this, a that, from a book, from a play. Like, everything exists already. So we already know how good it is. Quentin is still, his mind is still in the past. Because his thinking is like, okay, most movies these days are like stories that are new. And because of that, people can't only watch the movie because of the story. They have to latch onto an actor to be convinced. But then that is such an old way of thinking. Because everything these days is already established. People watch these movies because they are these movies. People watched Top Gun, not because, okay, Cruise came back, because it's Top Gun, and they love Top Gun 1, So Quentin's mind is very much, that is so behind us, that people see movies because they're acting. These days, people see movies because it's the fucking, it's either a very successful book, or, play, novel, playwright, it's a reboot from the 70s and the 60s. Like, people see those movies because it's this thing.
It's the IP.
That's what we see. Yeah. So yeah, like I don't agree with the statement at all. It's very, but again, I guess in a way you can kind of be described as like the old guard, because he is very much a director from the 90s. So I guess his thinking will be stuck in the, even with like fucking this guy. I forgot the name of the director. Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
About Marvel isn't cinema. Okay, Mr. Gangster movie, is that cinema? People criticized. It's funny to me because this happens every generation. First of all, people criticized westerns when they came out. People criticized John Wayne. They criticized Clint Eastwood. They criticized who's this? Charles Bronson. For doing these movies. People criticized westerns. And then, when the age of westerns was over, came the era of like gangster movies, and then that is Scorsese's bread and butter.
Yeah.
He's gonna tell us, my movies are cinema. Really? Movies are cinema? Italian gangster movies, that's cinema? Okay, buddy. Because I don't know, like, how is that any more groundbreaking than a story about redemption, love, and hope and whatnot? How is that any more greater? A fucking gangster movie? Please, get over yourself. The point is just people always criticize, and it'll always happen. You know,
Yeah.
they spoke in the exact same way for every single quote-unquote trend of film. It's not cinema. Okay, is your thing cinema?
Plus, it always comes back to this question of, well, if this isn't cinema, then what is?
Everything is cinema.
Exactly.
It's just stupid. It's stupid and pretentious for no reason. Because, like, the only person, and I've said this before, but the only person, only man, only whatever I would take seriously when criticizing Marvel movies is literally Daniel. And it's a criticism not born from insulting the movies, but saying that the level of, I guess, focus, concentration, and immersion that the actors have to place themselves into, except for Wakanda Forever, is not as great as mine. I believe that.
Yeah.
There's a reason why this man has the most Oscars in the world. There's a reason why he's a celebrated actor. There's a reason why he's labeled the greatest actor of all time. There's a reason. But everyone else, y'all can kindly fuck off. I don't want to hear anything. Jason Statham, go back to your fucking Transporter movies. I don't want to hear a peep out of you.
God damn, dude. Just...
Yeah. Stupid. They're all stupid.
That argument, though, like, with regards to Scorsese, man, like, it just... I never got that, man. Like, when he said, okay, these movies are like a theme park ride, there's some truth to that, because when you go to a theme park ride, you go there for the fun of it, man. You go there to have a good time. Yeah. In a way, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing. You do go to a theme park for the fun of it. You go to these movies for the fun of it. So...
But he's basically saying, my movies are sad. My movies make you think critically. My movies make you cry. Okay, but
not really.
About us crying. No. Sometimes I want to leave the movie happy. Sometimes I want to leave the movie pop. I want to leave the movie hot. This is a good movie. If I watch a Scorsese movie, I'm not going to leave the cinema pumped. I'll be depressed. I'll be like, damn, what a fucking movie. You know?
Yeah.
So, if for him, true cinema, heartbreaking, please get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here, man. True cinema, please. Shakespeare would laugh at you. Shakespeare would laugh at that. Shakespeare was a fun guy.
Yeah.
He would not as any. These people are just so high.
Also, I'm not saying Scorsese is racist or nothing, but you notice how white his fucking movies are? And not only...
dude, I mean, look, it's right to have a preferential race. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, there are directors who work with certain actors, certain ethnicity, certain ages, you know. Like, look at Nolan. Who was Nolan's first black protagonist?
John
You
David.
guessed it.
Yeah.
Protagonist. Pun intended. But, like, you know, even that speaks to, and again, he has a crew. He has a crew. Like, he has a proper crew. He has Michael Caine. He has Elizabeth Debicki. He has that lady who was Talia al Ghul.
Marion Cotillard, Cillian Murphy. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he has a crew. We know this. Does anyone speak about that? Does anyone complain about that? You know?
No.
Like, they should. They should, in theory. Because people also complain about, oh, Spike Lee only casts black leads, and he said that he never hire a white lead, and people were so angry. Okay, but what about other directors? Just because they haven't been asked that question doesn't mean the same isn't the same like them. Because Scorsese, only Italians. Loves him an Italian man. You Italian, come work for me. You in my movie. Come in.
Yeah.
So it's like it should be called out. But the reason why it isn't called out is because of, well, racism. Racism and like selective activism and selective uproar. This always happens.
Just false wokeness, basically. Basically wanting to appear woke as opposed to actually being woke. Because if you were really as woke as you pretend to be, you would call out everybody for having one kind of cast in their movies, not just the select few.
Yeah. So it really so ironic.
Not only that, though, in like Scorsese's movies, there are scenes in there that don't really need to be there. Like there are scenes where like you'll have a bunch of Italians sitting around, and they'll be like talking about you know, the niggas, the Moulignans. Like what the fuck? Why is this here? Seriously.
He loved it in Round Table, yeah. Dude, that's why I'm saying him as a director, yeah, but he's so good, man. Like his movies on like the most thought-provoking, like the only one is Schindler's List, because it's a movie about like real things. That was
Spielberg.
He didn't even direct it. You see, even worse. Even his best movie isn't his. How about that? You know, so like, I really do think over just because he made The Godfather, like, okay.
Another Italian movie about gangsters sitting around tables and talking shit. Just...
all these movies are like that, man. It's so. I guess they're successful because they appeal to the male gaze and patriarchy.
Let's be honest, dude. They appeal to the Italian male gaze. Just.
Yeah, like there's no greater draw than masculinity. Why do you think action films became a thing? We want to see the macho, we want to see the tough guy. All these movies was give, you know, weak, empowered men a sense of superiority. And because of that, they kind of attached themselves and fixated to these movies and these characters and like this director. And it's just like, well, but the movies aren't even like, but they're just like male-oriented movies. And that's the only reason why they get so much acclaim and hype. Because of the patriarchy.
Dude, just with fucking... like, it's not all Italian movies, because look at the Rocky series, man. Like, look at, like, you don't see this shit in a Stallone film. And he's Italian as fuck.
Stallone's a good guy because he can work with anyone.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Race, gender, he will work with anyone as long as the script is good. And I feel like a person like him, that mentality is so good to have, because once once you completely create your community, once you form a community, it's hard to ever change it.
Yeah.
Martin's been working since 1980, dog. 80. 40 years ago. Like, what the fuck?
And he didn't even look towards Leonardo DiCaprio till the 2000s, dude. Like,
yeah. What's this? Taxi Driver, 76, in fact. 4 years earlier. So, like, what the fuck? Yeah, man. If there had to be a dick rider in cinema, it would be Martin Scorsese. And who was he a dick? He is Niro's dick rider. That man is a simp for De Niro. Loves him. absolutely loves them.
Yeah.
But no one calls that out.
Yeah. Joe Pesci used to be in there at like in the early days, but he like
Yeah,
sort
he
of phased
retired.
himself. Yeah, he retired. So yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it really is. It's not just ironic. It's an.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Ray Liotta was in one movie. Was fuck, I can't remember which one. These movies kind of blend together if you look at them hard enough.
Yeah. He was a type of guy after his death.
Yeah, he was just.
It's not that sad because he said in interviews he doesn't mind, likes it.
Yeah. Hey man, you be making that money is making that money at the end of the day. Whether you're playing one guy or a bunch of different guys, you're still making money. You're still in the movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Like how crazy is it that you go from being in Goodfellas to being in a Sopranos prequel? You're just the same guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're the same guy. Like you're playing the same character. Mafioso.
Yeah. Funny enough, before the show got rolling, before they cast James Gandolfini, they actually asked Ray Liotta if he wanted to play the part, but he turned them down.
That's interesting.
That is.
You know what's well?
Yeah.
Who's this? Italian fat guy comedian. Come on, think. Joe Thingy. The fat Italian guy. He was in Spider-Man 2.
The fat Italian guy, he was in Spider-Man 2. What?
Yeah.
Who was he?
I'll find. Who?
Who was he? Like
Joey Diaz. Maybe.
Joey Diaz. I'm not really.
If I show you this picture, you know, but I don't think you know him. No. But okay, so basically, the very fat Italian and actor.
Oh yeah. I see him. Yeah, I recognize him now. Shit.
So
he was in Spider-Man 2.
Funny enough, in the late 90s, he was in a skit. He used to be on a skit, and essentially, well, not even late 90s, he played Tony Soprano in the skit, right? And then he would go on to be one of the fathers in the Soprano prequel. I think it was like Joey Two-Foot's father. But he actually became part of the Sopranos universe after that. But then that was like much later. Like that movie is like from 2019, but the skit is like from 2003. But it's funny because there's a select number of people who think that Joey Diaz was Soprano. It's weird. It's like a Mandela effect memory, but he was never on it.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in the prequel movie with the young. But yeah, he was never a cast member.
He was that guy in Spider-Man 2. He was that first guy to step up. Like, you want to get to him, you got to go through me. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah. So, like, it's surprising what manifestation can do.
That weird Mandela effect of thing. Dude, the very reason for that name, the Mandela effect, people thought he died in prison. What the fuck?
Yeah, died in the 80s. I think it's because, no, look, on false. It's just that you have to remember at that point, the apartheid government was doing whatever to violence the regime and, like, the fight against. So it began spreading propaganda. So there was this bit of propaganda. Right? And the thing is, while that would very quickly find out that that's a lie, the rest of the world, or the few people who aren't in tune with like the latest news, they realized it was a hoax / fake news / propaganda. Like it was really evidence, but it was fake, of course. But it's funny to me that the Mandela effect was started due to irony, because he actually was said. But then what the Mandela effect
Yeah, that like half the population remembers one thing and the other half remembers something totally different. Yeah.
And the one thing was never true. I
Yeah.
don't know, man. Sometimes,
You got a favorite
like,
Mandela effect moment? Like,
hmm, you know, uh, for me, the one that fucks me up is the cornucopia logo. That one does fuck me up, as well as the what do you call it? The fact that the Bernstein Bears
dude,
literally,
the best thing. Fuck, dude,
yeah,
that
like that.
name. Like, because in your mind, you're thinking, okay, it's pronounced Berenstein, so there's a second E in there, but like, there's a version of it that's like Bernstein Bears. Like,
Like Bernstein, it's so because the pronunciation Bernstein constitutes an E, and
yeah,
I'm pretty sure we've seen the E there a couple of times. But when we dig for evidence, it apparently never existed. So I don't know, man. I know we've been talking about space and aliens and shit, and interdimensional what and aliens, but sometimes I gotta say, sometimes it really does feel like I'm living in, and I'm not bullshitting, I'm being so honest. Sometimes it does feel like I'm in like an alternate reality, and I was transported unbeknownst to myself in my sleep. Like, fuck. There's some things I look back on even things in high school, things in my own personal life, and I'm like, what? Nah, that's nah.
yeah.
And it feels like you're in another reality. Like I always get it.
Like with
Well, they
I kind of
two realities,
yeah.
like what's the word? They're intersecting. So when they do, things change. Kind of like I don't know, like a multiversal rewrite of sorts.
The the
But yeah,
if I could compare it to anything, it would be like how when Miles went to like the other Earth, like in his Earth, instead of Coca-Cola, he'd had like Cola Coke, and you know it's like a minor thing, but it's noticeable. And how
yeah,
Miles's dad was a cop. Normally it would say NYPD, but it said PDNY. You know.
yeah.
To
Now
everyone
tell me
else,
this.
it would seem like, oh, it was always like that. But to someone from a different universe, you'd like, nah, something is off. You know,
You know
like,
what else is crazy?
yeah.
Pikachu never had a black on his tail.
Right, he did. Like,
Never.
yeah, unlike the show, like, he had a black spot on his tail. Like, when he
No,
would,
that top, not the bottom.
oh,
You see what I mean? Yeah, I remember the black tip. You remember the black tip. Nah, that's crazy. He never had a black tip. In fact, the other tip wasn't even a tip. It was brown streaks. He never had a black tip.
damn.
The Malpathy man never had monocles. Oh, he never had a monocle.
That is,
Never.
that is some shit, dude. Nah,
Not
dude.
even once. Not even in one incarnation. Never had a monocle.
What the
Dude,
fuck?
I'm telling you, like, nah, man. Like, I don't know what fuck shit is going on in the world, but timelines interacting, like, sometimes I really, timeline, like, no cap. Like, I can't even, so much shit is so different.
Yeah.
And it gets up.
Dude, it's just so, it's trippy, man. Like, it messes with you for real. Like when you see shit like that, like we're like, what is going on? Like, wasn't it like that before? Like, I think it has to do with like partially the thing that's partially affecting that is the fact that memories fade and they distort over time. But like,
It's,
this isn't just that, you know? Like, Yeah, Tunes.
Yeah, you see. The T-O-O. Now, I do remember you. What I don't remember is the fact that Kit Kat never had a dash.
Kit Kat doesn't have a dash?
It doesn't. Yeah, and I'm telling you,
But
though.
it, Kit Kat is one word, ain't it?
I don't even know. I don't even know. But
Damn.
yep. Waldo.
Oh yeah. Where's Waldo? Where's Wally? Like,
Yeah, all of that stuff. Dude, this is. Yeah.
it is some trippy shit, man. Like, just this is. It brings me back to like this one conversation we had. Like, what if someone came out of the mirror and told you you were living in a simulation? And now it's like, what if in like in MOM, someone like tore a hole through the universe and said, "You're not supposed to be here. You're not living in your own universe. This is."
Dude.
It would fuck with you, but you'd have reason to believe it at the same time.
Dude, like, are you familiar with the jam? Not jam, yeah, but Jiffy.
Yeah, Jiff. Yeah.
Yeah. But then there's like, there are millions of people who remember Jiffy. Like, that to me, just.
Dude, I've seen that shit in stores, like extra creamy Jif. I have never once seen a jar of Jiffy. Just
You see. And then look at, thingy, the Ford logo.
the Ford logo.
It was never in, like, cursive.
What do you mean? Look how the F is written. Like,
No, like, there are people who remember the Ford logo continuing and connecting to, like, another letter or something. But then there are others who say that that's a mismemory because Ford kind of Coca-Cola. But how are you gonna tell, like, millions of people that they're wrong? I mean, yeah, humans are wrong to this degree. To this, like, how many times? And also, I think the best one in pop culture, is that it was never ever, "I am your father." It's, "No, I am your father."
yeah.
Now that fucks me up as well.
Dude, I misquoted that for years. Shit.
Not just you, TV shows and cartoons.
Yeah, man. Shit.
Office fighting it. Nah, dog. Nah.
It's mad, dude.
"No, I am your father." What are you talking about?
Yeah.
"No, I am your father." Dude, like, for the past 2 days, cartoons have referenced the Luke, "I am your father" so many times. Why would any of them think that? I mean, yes, it's how you address someone, but we're already speaking. Why would you say his name again? You're already speaking, bro. It's so weird. There's no way that you misremember this. To such close detail, to be like, he starts with the word Luke. Nah, man, that's crazy. And there's like many examples of it.
It's crazy, man. The world is full of them. Like, we live in a parallel universe. Like, we've somehow slipped in without realizing. Like,
Dude.
if that were the case, somehow we had managed to slip into a parallel universe, or like our collective consciousness traveled into our parallel universe selves. Like, what would we even do with that? Like,
What would we do? And how would we stop it?
would you want to stop it?
I just feel like I don't want to keep it. I don't want to keep, Here's as well. Tell me for this. On Disney DVD, think about what float over the Disney logo as it's spelled. She never did that.
No.
She never ever did that. Ever. Soak it in. What she did fly over were like random title. Never the Disney logo. Just take it in for a second. Take it in.
Damn.
Still believe in reality? Ain't no way.
Personally, you know, in terms of like the alien thing, you know, I hope that we don't. I mean, sure, find the existence of alien life, sure thing, but I hope we don't physically interact with them until we are well and readily able to properly defend ourselves. You know, in the event they turn out to be hostile. And yeah, in regards to, you know, the Mandela thing and how trippy life has been, whether it's a jar of extra creamy Jif, or Tinkerbell waving a wand, or a Ford logo not being cursive, you know, I just, you know, it's funny to think about, you know, kind of annoying when it contradicts what you remember, but you know, and it messes with your head for a bit, but otherwise harmless, you know. Before I roll out, you know, I got this. You reminded me like a extra creamy Jif. There's a reason I keep saying that instead of just Jif. There's this story. This guy, he was in court. He was gonna go to jail for something. I don't know, some such crime or other. So so before he goes in, he asks for like a jar of Jif, right? That extra creamy kind. So he takes a handful of the stuff and he packs his ass crack with it. Just straight up packs his ass full of like peanut butter, goes to court, you know. And he's just sitting there. The judge, you know, trial goes along. Judge asks, does the defendant have anything he'd like to say? So he stands up, pulls his pants down, reaches in his underwear and pulls out a handful of extra creamy Jif, shows it to the courtroom, and then licks it right in front of everybody. The judge is fucking horrified. They're like, oh my god, this man's insane. Like, this guy's crazy. So they, you know, book him for a mental institution instead of jail. He goes there. And by the time anybody finds out that what he pulled out was sandwich spread, the nut house has already declared him legally sane, and he's free and clear.
Wait, so what did I think it was before?
What do you mean? What did they think it was?
Wait, where did he even keep it?
Where you think he kept it, man?
Oh my god, that is horrifying. If I was in the jury, I would be horrified. I'd be mortified.
Dude, man, like, I will give the man props. He got out free and clear, man. Just pretty inventive way to get out of going to jail. And they legally can't bust him. You can't be tried for the same crime twice. Yeah.
Okay, here's some recent news, like 30 minutes ago recent.
Good.
Leakers have confirmed that Holland is in Across the Spider-Verse.
Really?
Yeah, Holland's Spidey's appear. That should be interesting.
It should be interesting. It makes you wonder if he'll appear in any other Sony projects, because Across the Spider-Verse is a Sony movie. Yeah.
And, you know, their character can kind of do whatever they want. Like, what if we saw how it was an actor doing an impression of Tom Holland while they changed the actual physical design of the Spider-Man. Because the thing is, Sony literally own everything. They own the look, they own the suit, and the actual actor and his voice. So for the Disney, for the Disneyland Marvel rides, and those actors, you know, who portray characters like Gaston and whatnot, the actor who plays Spider-Man is wearing a different suit than the MCU suit because they can't use that suit legally.
Yeah, makes sense. Sony is smart to do that, by the way. They're making a lot of dough.
Yeah.
Man.
So Sony, you're gonna see clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we almost did see him in a Sony project. He was in 2018's Venom as Peter Parker. He filmed the scene, but they scrapped it. Yeah.
Crazy. This is why I'm like, they don't care how big you are. But also, it was Feige who said cut that shit because he did not want to be associated with Venom.
Yeah.
He was like, because he was like consulted because of like No Way Home, and he was like, nah, you can't, no, don't use them.
Plus, it wouldn't really make sense because yeah, why is Peter Parker? Yeah, like just. Well, plus, the movies, even if Venom was in the MCU, the movie's in San Francisco. Venom's in San Francisco. Why is Peter Parker in San Fran? Like, what's going on here?
It's not like you're on a vacation.
Yeah, man. Dude.
Yeah. At least Feige's here, though. You know, at least he can like correct some bullshit.
Yeah. But then again, man, you know, he's not foolproof. Let's just say that.
Yeah. He ain't perfect.
Yeah. It would be weird if he was, though. I mean, keep in mind, he did have the idea, like, when asked, like, okay, what do we do with Abomination? His suggestion was, we lock him in a cell and, like, throw the cell to the bottom of the ocean. Thank God no one listened to that. Because realistically, not even just, like, in terms of what do we do with the character, in the realm of the MCU, no one would do that. Realistically speaking, nobody would do that. No one would just like, fuck it, let's stop him in a cell and then chuck the cell to the bottom of the ocean. No. Abomination is dangerous, but not that dangerous. Plus, they're not that cool.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway, bruv, it's been awesome talking for the last, 5 hours?
Nearly 8. It's like 8.5 right now. Because the other call got up like 5 hours something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As always, man, peace out. You know, talk to you when I talk to you. And, what? Oh, shit, yeah. Also, don't send that photo without giving proper context as to why it's there. That's gonna be confusing. No, because it's gonna be confusing as fuck. I don't give a fuck if he's confused. I give a fuck if I'm not there to see it. Like, man, if we were still in high school and that photo was taken, you just know it would be funny as fuck to watch him react to that photo. Like,
what if we do it together?
What do you mean?
Thomas is flaky. I doubt he'd be able to make an appointment.
Yeah, like
Tragic,
but hell. Nah, but then that would have to be like a video call, because we'd want to see that shit. We definitely...
Live reaction.
Dude. Oh, man.
Yeah.
But anyway...
Oh, shit. Do you want to... Well, it's not even a leak, really. You already know. So, in terms of the Morbius stuff, the Deadpool 3, they say he gets pulled in because of Deadpool 2 and the fuck up that he did. Apparently. I don't know. I feel like there are more creative ways to go about this.
Yeah. There's way more creative ways.
Yeah. Clearly it's about bringing someone in. But if you do it more creatively, that would be good.
We don't want a repeat of what Morbius did in fucking Living Vampire
movies. Want to Loki season 1.
Dude.
Was just Loki. I mean,
Yeah, we don't need a rehash of that.
I wonder who the villain is. Should be good.
Oh, that it will be. It definitely will be.
They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.